If you look like a duck, walk like a duck, and communicate like a duck, then you must be a duck. Same with leadership. People will not promote your potential, they promote what they can see and hear. Today, that means winning the war of stories. Don't just tell, stories sell.
Hello everyone, this is a template and story selling demonstration. My name is Bong Diungria from the Ateneo, and we will be using a hypothetical company called WWW Warm Whenever, Wherever. There are two objectives for this presentation. One is to demonstrate story selling to better help students and learners apply it in their first presentation. Second is to emphasize the 11P marketing template as a easy first way to do a marketing plan without the stress and the hassle of trying to think how to tell a story. So, in this presentation, you will see check marks like the green one you see on the left-hand side. And if you see that check mark, that means that in general, this already works, is acceptable according to the benchmarks that we've set. And if you see an X, that means it's not yet the best possible. You can consider it as good, but for this class, we don't consider good as good enough. So this slide, again, conforms with many elements of what we propose to be good story selling, but definitely, if you look at this now and compare it to the second one is better. And the third one is best. That's the standard you want to achieve. We want to be the best by giving up the good. So again, the check mark reminds us that overall this meets the story selling standards. Okay? Without a check, that means we're just making it clear that the standard has no check mark. This is the clean version of the ideal cover page. Now, for this video demonstration, I purposely used a blue background already because many students don't like to use the white simple backgrounds, but they actually work very well as far as making the ideas clear and the elements work together. So don't be afraid to use the white simple backgrounds that you've seen in past demonstrations. What you need to avoid are backgrounds which make text unreadable. So this is a very colorful background, but the choice of the color for the text or the words doesn't allow easy readability. So avoid this when you do choose a non-white background. Now, after doing the cover page, again, just a small thing, but it really is important. On page 2, after the cover page, that's where you give credit to the group members. You can put a picture of the member, their name, their 3 dimensions, which we used in an exercise before, and possibly their current company affiliation. So that's where you give the credit. You don't put all the names of the members in the cover page and in the footnotes of all the slides, because that will just make it cluttered. So this is an example of a good cover page that was cluttered by forcing the names and pictures of the members somewhere in the slide. So instead of adding value, it actually clutters the page. So avoid this. So always put the credits to the members making the report on page 2 after the cover page. Now, the essence of this presentation is really for us to sell the story well. That's the first objective. And there are 5 things that help us sell the story well. The first is focus. Focus meaning don't clutter, don't copy, follow the 7 lines, 7 words per line. I can't say that enough. And again, I'm forced to repeat it here because I've seen some students in some groups carry the error until the end of the course, and we don't want that. Second, it is a necessity to summarize and just don't copy from the book or from the reference. And use font sizes and colors as a signal, an indication of the importance of the various elements in the story. So, what you'll see in the next slides are examples of wrong applications or demonstrations when these rules weren't followed. In this slide, the definition of positioning is exactly how the book said it, and it was copied word for word. Ironically, it was saying that to understand the market, you use positioning, but this is a clear example of I really don't know, so I'll just copy the words from the book. So please don't do that. When you do want to reference the book, select key ideas and don't copy the entire sentences. Select the key words in the ideas themselves. So this is the next. For focus, again, to sell the story well, the second part after focus is to highlight with headlines. There are two elements we need to remember. There's a headline, which is the complete idea accompanying the slide, explaining the main idea that you want to communicate, and there's also such a thing as a label. A label is generally on top of the headline, and it helps frame the headline. So again, we'll better understand it through the next slides. So this is a slide with no headline. Major decisions, as listed here, is actually a label, and it's not actually a very good label. So we are not sure what these major decisions are about because it's not a complete idea. And to repeat the reminder that all slides should have headlines. In general, all slides should have headlines unless you're the page separator or the cover page. Oh, the cover page also has a headline. So headlines are a must. The label 5B plot and the benefits POP/POD, they're both classified as labels because they are not complete idea. And the font size, the size of the fonts for the 5B plot and the benefits does not indicate the relative importance of each separate element. So what do we do? Make sure that the label is smaller in font. That gives a frame of reference as to what part of the presentation you are. But here, the headline is the main benefit to Pedro is warmth. And it's a complete idea. It's not just a label, it's a complete idea. So this is a struggle for first timers, distinguishing headlines, making headlines that are complete, and even using labels and sizing the font of the label so they really are not clashing or overpowering the headline. The third thing to do for story selling is to look great. One way to do that, and the first thing is to always correct the typos. And it's good that current programs already indicate if you have a typo. It's marked in red. There's a red underline, so it's making sure that you don't overlook it visually. So when a typo is there, it's magnified 10 times, and it gives an indication of the care and the preparation of those who made the presentation. So please correct the typos. Always add picture elements and visuals as much as you can without distracting the content. And then they ensure that the text and the visuals complement rather than conflict. And when all the elements of the page are there, they should appear balanced and complementary to one another. Here's an example of using too many fonts and too many colors. And instead of numbering the bullets, it's all bullets, so it's hard to understand which is the most important. It followed the 7x7 rule, but again, too many colors, too many fonts. We understand that the green means it's good and the red means it's bad. But in general, this can be presented better to look visually more appealing to the viewer or the listener. In this slide, we find that the headline used a very fancy font, hard to read, and it's very small. The elements of the slide, which are under the headline, are even bigger in font. So it's not consistent. And when this was presented, the entire slide appeared all together. So it's a lot of clutter at the same time, and the audience doesn't know where to look. This is another example of too many ideas in one slide, and instead of helping, it actually overwhelms the viewer with how do I read this quick enough and understand it without being confused by the two other elements of the slide. So the recommendation here is to break this into three different slides, with each slide with one complete idea. This is a cover page that lacks information. It looks clean, minimalist, but it clearly lacks information because that's all that was put in there. It doesn't mention the person who was presenting, uh, doesn't have any visual to complement the text. And chapter 18 is not the most important, it's not even an important element in the presentation. The next guide or recommendation is to always capitalize correctly. The most often used is what we call the camel capitalization, which is a capital letter on the first letter of keywords. So that's the most often used in PowerPoint presentations. If you notice, most often and used are all capitalized on the first letters, while on and only, because they are just connectors in the idea, they don't use the camel. They don't have a first capital letter on the first word of on and only. So this is the most often used, and we refer to it as the camel. Sometimes used because it's necessary is to use all capitals. And we do that only for emphasis and sometimes. What is never used though is to use all small caps, because then you're saying nothing is important. So never use all small caps in a slide. Sometimes it's useful to also use italics for emphasis. So I take blame for not making this clear. We develop this instinct and intuition to see what is visually appealing and easily understood. And that's the conclusion about the camel, all capitalization, and small caps and italics. So let me show you how it looks. When you have all caps, whether it's in a slide or on a presentation, it feels like, even if it's unintentional, that you're shouting. Okay? It doesn't really look good. Everything looks important. But fortunately here, the Timberland logo was a camel, no? But other than that, this looks like shouting. Even the headline title is smaller than number one. So not visually appealing. It has the elements, but it is not visually appealing in the story cell. The other observation here is overall the page looks empty. There's a lot of page, and the elements of the text, the brand logo, and the visual occupy a very small part of it, making it look empty. And there's nothing, it's not part of a build effect. No, these are all the elements of the page. So it really looks empty, even with all caps, which is again shouting to me that, hey, notice me, I'm important. This is another example from the same presentation where the use of capitalization, the relative sizes of the fonts, and building them so that each element appears only when it's the one being discussed. This appeared all at the same time, and even now, I don't know where to look. Everything looks cluttered because of too many things, and not balancing the various elements to make it visually appealing. Now, here in the next slide, I'm guessing that after typing the words, that's it. Before you move on to the next slide, try to ask, can I adjust the sizes, the colors, and the fonts so that they look better visually? Clearly here, that step wasn't taken. Another example of too many words is here, instead of saying outline, it used the very long 5-letter phrase of we will address the following. The simpler way and more direct way, more easily understood, is just put outline on the label. So outline is a label. Even marketing strategies and plans is not a complete idea. It looks big, but it's not saying anything. So, this is the complete outline slide. It's better to put answers and not questions. And we will see that later. He will answer it in the summary, but since it's in the outline, instead of asking, answer it already. How does marketing affect customer value? Is it positive or negative, or it depends? No, if planning is done on different levels of organization, how many levels are there? And if there are so many elements of a marketing plan, how many elements are there for question number three? So be more direct. Don't ask questions. Use the outline to give a peek to the answers to these questions. Next up is always be specific to be terrific. So I referred to you the previous slide, which was really an outline of this report. Now it's a summary. Now it's saying marketing affects customer value. So that's marketing affect customer value is not verbally, grammatically correct. So even that is should have been tagged. But how does it affect customer value? Does it affect it in a positive, negative, neutral way, or it depends? So it didn't become or come to the level of being specific to be terrific. So when you can be very specific. Another reminder is don't settle for good. If you look at this is good. It follows all the guidelines we previously said. There's a label, the headline is complete idea, but it's very wordy, too many words, and uh, confusing and cluttered looking. This is a variation of that. The headline is clearer, less words, and cut correctly. It's a clear headline, but still, there's wrong grammar as far as don't. Oh, there's a red underline on don't. The Pedro's family enjoy warmth. That's grammatically incorrect. And there's no other visual except the fire logo, which has been appearing in all the slides. So I don't even count as a visual in this particular slide. The next slide attempts to have a visual, but the visual is, again, still bothered by the typos, which is clearly indicated by the red underline, which wasn't corrected by the presenter. So it's a shame. Just because of a negative, the positive impact of the addition of the visual didn't have too much benefit. Now, this is a wrong application of adding the visual. If you notice, the visual occupied most of the space and making the text or the content very small, just to accommodate the big visual. One way people are able to overcome this, but it's still incorrect, is they overlap the text and the visual. Now, when you do that, then the texts are less readable and it's harder to understand. The next slide shows a good balance between the visual and the content, making each stand out on its own but complementing one another as two separate elements. So, balance with the purpose produces the best possible look and impact of your presentation. So, the reminder for us is don't settle for good, look for great. And part of this is controlling the cutting of ideas. When we type information on PowerPoint, because of the size of the text and the size of the box where we're putting the text, it auto cuts. And many who are unaware just allow the auto cut to remain. The key idea is group and cut words by ideas, and you can do that by adjusting the font size or adjusting the number of words. Does positioning and cutting matter? Absolutely. So the original intent of this sign was to say no smoking and safety first. But because there was a cut in the middle, it was the no and safety which were grouped together. So no safety and smoking first. So the one in the middle that cut it, that's the auto cut of PowerPoint depending on the number of words and the size of fonts that you use, and it absolutely affects the delivery of the message. Another very powerful visual example is this slide, because this slide didn't was a careless move because it can mean, are we open or we are open? Ano ba talaga, kuya? And that's just because of the positioning, of the way the words are put together allows two possible interpretations. So, reminder, don't depend on the AutoCAD, which is done by PowerPoint. Number 4 and number 5 were AutoCADs. There were two lines for number 4 and two lines for number 5, when actually, if you just override it and take control, you can change number 4 and number 5 to one-liners. And one line means one idea. It's easier for the listener to see the complete idea in one line than in two. So take a look. I just adjusted the length of number 5, less words, but it's more clear that the market size is 10 million per year. A lot more AutoCADs that happen here. So the computer or PowerPoint cut, analyze consumer needs, and where did it cut? And wants. A better cut is analyze consumer needs and wants as one line, and considerations on channel design decisions should be the headline. Although that again doesn't say how many considerations are there. No. Okay, so if we are to change that, we will say there are three things to consider for channel design. So that's a complete idea. More examples where AutoCAD wasn't overridden, and the student who made this just allowed where it paused and where it cut to be the one that becomes final. So not a good idea. Take control. After finishing typing the content, format it so that ideas are in one continuous line rather than split into two just because. Another example of controlling AutoCADs. See the first line, understanding the three essentials. That could be at the first, and then the second line of the headline is of a marketing information system. Okay. And then there are a lot of words. It could be, we can change the headline to 3 components of a marketing information system. Yes, they are essential, but do you actually need to emphasize essential in the headline? Maybe not. Okay. I also note that the word system appears 4 times here, and you can word it so that it appears just once. Okay, so there are 3 systems in an MIS: internal record, market intelligence, and market research. So again, instead of 4 words of systems, it just is mentioned and appears once. Again, when you finish with the slide, don't leave it as is. Read it, and when you can, be specific to be terrific. So the idea here is not just mentioning these 3 main components. What are the 3 main components? What are the 6 major environmental forces? So the suggestion is be specific. Mention it. This cover page had a lot of extra information. Even the book, the edition, and the names of the authors were put in there. And that's not even close to the most important ideas in a cover page. Yes, we can give credit, maybe at the end, but to put that in the executive summary takes away valuable space for the more critical elements. If you look at marketing management and Philip Kotler, they're of the same size, but I wonder if you decide to include those, are they equally important? Even the full word of Ateneo Graduate School of Business may not be as important to even be part of this cover page. Another very obvious example of having too much clutter in the cover page. I actually just removed the student name just to make this more neutral, but I found it inconsistent with the removal of clutter when the student put my entire name and all my degrees as part of the cover page. And again, there are many, many other more important things to include there. Even V95 doesn't have to be part of the cover page. We know your V95, but is it as important as the other elements here? And this actually, because we put so many clutter here, the visual wasn't added. So the clutter sort of masks the need for a good visual to complement this cover page. Now, I've seen a couple of times students use a webcam so that they see themselves as part of the report. And that's fine. If you're already professional, you are not reading from something and you're comfortable looking straight at the camera, then please do so. But I've seen many students who are actually reading from notes, not even looking at the camera, um, doing the webcam live during the report. And it's distracting, it's not adding value. So, again, if you're among the special few who can do it, well, then please do. But if not, then reconsider your plan to have your live webcam during the recording. Now, here, what bothered me was the word step was repeated 6 times. So even the marketing research process is still considered the label. I would substitute that label with 6 steps of the marketing of 6 steps of research or 6 steps of marketing research. And then instead of a bullet, I'll just put number one, define problem, even removing the word the, because that's extra. Collect the information, remove the, analyze the information. Again, there's just too many words that are not necessary that are placed here just because that's the way it was stated in the book. So please be mindful of that. Excess clutters. Now, this is another example of using PowerPoint as a typewriter. So I type my idea and already leave the page. There was no conscious consideration of the visual look. Like the headline, market segments, doesn't link with one, two, three. When you do a dot, dot, dot on the top, it should be like a way to continue to number one. Market segments in what ways? Market segments basis. But it's not. No, so it's really a disconnected element to the rest of the slide. One of the key elements of a story selling well is to always sync text with audio with pics or pictures. This is good because the visual appeared together with a check mark instead of one after the other. You can use that as an animation. But when you use animation, pick the word appear because it's the most direct way to show the next part of the slide. Or if you don't want to use appear, split this slide into multiple slides. What you don't want to do is to choose other than the appear animation and have something like this, flying in. There's really no value for the words to fly in from the bottom and go up. Absolutely none in a professional business presentation. It looks good, but it's more on the amateur side. So highly disruptive, and please don't do that. So overall, these were the 5 elements. I did take a lot of time to emphasize what it is, what should be done, and what should not be. But this is more on the format and how the story is sold. So, what's still the most important thing is content. What's in the story? So now I have accomplished the first part of the outline, which was to do a story selling demo. In this second part, we will now focus more on the content using the 11P marketing plan template as the basis. So the first guide is include all 11 steps. And these are the 11 steps. Now, while all the 11 steps are here, I'm still saying this is just good. And please don't do that because number one, all the elements appeared all together. It was not in a sync fashion. So it's confusing. And then secondly, the red is not the red text is not readable when we made the background from white to blue. So you have to be conscious. It's not readable. You have to change the color. So the first step is the profile, the problem or the pain. So yellow and white complement very well with the blue background. So but red doesn't. So I'll not discuss, but again, this is a must as the content for the 11P marketing plan. It should have the 11 Ps or the 11 steps. Now, ensure also that there are 6 mandatory structural elements for the story cell. Again, the first page is the executive summary. This is the cover page. Page 2 is really the group members' photos in 3 dimensions. The third is a specific outline, not a generic outline. The fourth is a body of presentation with headlines and labels so that, again, the journey of the viewer or listener is well documented and the headlines tell complete ideas. Finally, after saying what has to be presented, it is a must to put it as a summary. And I had to mention the parenthesis. You have to change it from outline as a label to summary because some students just repeat number 3 and in the summary page there's still the label of outline. So please don't do that. Make it a summary. Also, it might be a good idea to change some of the words in the summary from the original outline because you've already said them. So it's not necessary to use some words or you can use other words just because it's been done already and it's a summary page. Lastly, the last mandatory element from a story selling and communicating standpoint is the end page. So let's apply this. We've seen the cover page. Let's apply this. This is the outline. I'll not read what is described. I'll just show you that this is a specific and terrific way with one idea per line of telling the first 5 elements of the 11-step marketing plan. Okay. So by removing the clutter, limiting it to 7 by 7, it's clear. Some students and some groups still put all the 11 elements on this outline page. It's not necessary because then it will look cluttered. So where do you put the 6 to 11? You put them in the second slide of the outline. There's no rule that you can only have one page for the outline. So number 6 is products, promo, and place. Okay. 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I missed number 6. No? There should be the size of the market there in the previous slide. And then the 11th step is the Panalo winning strategy. So again, this is the outline following all the principles of sync, of clarity of text color, of putting one idea per line and controlling the overcutting. So the profile of the primary target market, Pedro is a wealthy man. He is, again, within a 10-year age range, 30 to 40 years old. And because he's at this stage, he's most likely married with 2 children. And we even put the ages of the children because that would match with his age of being 30 to 40. Again, that is the reason why for this marketing exercise, we have to really define the age in a 10-year age range. He's class AB. He lives and works in Baguio, where generally the weather is cold. His house has a fireplace, but he likes to also go outdoors, which is consistent with this environment conscious and nature friendly choices. He wants to provide bonding moments for his family. So by putting all these demographic, psychographic, behavioral, and lifestyle descriptions of Pedro, we now can appreciate his problem. His problem is sometimes it gets too cold at home. And why does it happen? Number one, he's busy. He still prefers firewood over electric heaters because of his nature sensitivity. He still wants warmth for his young family of 8 and 12 and his young wife. So he wants to use being in the fireplace as a way to bond with family when it's too cold. Unfortunately, he's too busy to stock up on enough firewood. So that's the pain of Pedro. He wants the warmth, he lacks the time, but he wants the benefits. So, how do we help Pedro? Also, with this setup, he can't have delivery of firewood to his place because he is just there's no one offering it at the time. And again, many of the firewood that can be bought, he's not sure if they're natural and sustainable. So that's the second P. Again, Pedro's problem or pain is a label. Sometimes it's too cold at home. That's the headline. And supporting the headlines are bullets 1 to 6. So that's how we present the slide. There's a label, there's a headline, and there are a maximum of 7 lines that support the headline. Now, what are Pedro's present solutions? He has first option, do nothing. And because of that, his family remains full. Or he buys firewood from the nearest and probably the only decent department store, which is SM Baguio, and stock up enough supplies. But when you do that, then the only differentiator for the choices are price. You could also choose to buy and use an expensive heater, but this is contrary to his values of sustainability. So, given these present choices do not really address his pain and problem, what now does WWW, our company, offer as a unique selling proposition? There are 3 elements to the USP. One, it's nature friendly firewood delivered in 60 minutes anywhere in Baguio. Of course, the benefit we see the visual and the text appearing is the family enjoys warmth together. There's bonding moments for the family. Pedro doesn't have to think about stocking up. He just calls, and in 60 minutes, voila, there's warmth in the home. And he can decide, he knows that it's sustainable because the wood is from fast growing trees. And the company has repeatedly said, we plant, we harvest, and then we just repeat it. So it's not just cutting trees to supply the firewood. There's this sustainability promise from this company. Now, for step 5, there's the competitive positioning map. And I'm just showing this as a 2 by 2, where the two variables for the 2 by 2 matrix positioning is price and place. So SM Firewood is bought from the store at a low price, bought from SM Firewood. But for WW Firewood, it's higher in price, but it's delivered to the home. So that's a way of distinguishing two different types of firewood as far as satisfying the target market is concerned. So this is not necessary for the group marketing plans. What is more important is a competitive positioning map based on benefits. Okay. So there are two benefits. One is a point of parity, meaning they are benefits that are shared by many competitors or substitutes. Points of differentiation, on the other hand, are benefits that most likely you or just one other competitor is offering. So, as far as ability to provide warmth, all the choices are able to do that. Giving off natural light, 3 of the 4 choices are able to do that. But from a point of differentiation standpoint, only WW Firewood is from a sustainable source delivered within 60 minutes, and it's all natural packing and easy to call. The others don't have that. So be conscious of the benefits where you are at par or the same as the rest of the market, and you have to be that to be able to provide warmth if you're a firewood. It's not possible to be firewood and not be providing warmth because that's an essential benefit. But where you compete is where you are different. So this is the competitive positioning map helps us to identify where to position, what to communicate. Now, step number 6 is the market size. So the market size, in summary, it's best characterized by pesos per year. And in the following analysis, we'll show you how we computed that in Baguio, the firewood demand is 10 million pesos per year. So on this white portion from Wikipedia says that there are 87,731 households in Baguio. You can, because it's 2023, you can what project moving forward, but maybe 2 or 3% growth of population every year. That's possible. But for this exercise, we didn't do that. We just said, okay, the AB market is 1% of the population. If there are 87,000 households, then the 1% AB represents just 877 households. But we're not computing households as a market size. We will assume for this purpose that each of these AB households, of these 87,000 households, will consume about 1,000 pesos worth of firewood per month throughout the year. If that is the case, then the monthly market size is 877,000. You multiply it by 12, it comes out to 10.5 million per year. But again, the 0.5 to the 10 million, that's again something that's better left unmentioned. Just mention 10 million per year, and it's clearer than saying 10.5 million per year. Again, removing the clutter, since anyway, these are just estimates. 10.5 million is not more accurate than 10 million. 10 million is clearer than 10.5. So, again, the annual market size, 877,000 times 12, that's 10 million. Our company, WWW, is targeting a 40% market share, and therefore, if it does well, then its sales for the year is 4 million. Why is this important? Because we want to know how much revenue is achievable if we hit the target, so that we know how much to spend in advertising, in rent, in labor, because we cannot exceed the profits from this 4 million sales. All right. So after the market size, we look at the product and service strategy. In today's world of where digital has become more prominent, product is now also called collaboration with the customer. Okay? So it's not just product, it's working with the customer on the final product. So the headline is you just dial one number and it's the customer who dials it, and WW delivers in 60 minutes. You can do it in Messenger or call or text. There's an instant auto response which can be automated, but there can be also a live person who will call or verify within a few minutes of the automated response. If the database is up and useful, that can be used for easy ordering, so that the customer doesn't have to repeat all the details like the address and the phone number and the contact person. If it's in the details part, even with the Data Privacy Act, we can make the ordering easy and quicker. Some orders can also be done via the website, and that allows us to also add other products to promote, like candles or potpourri on the website, because that platforms allows you to do that, which is not possible if the only way to contact the company is SMS or messenger chat. So that's something on the product, or again, in today's world, the collaboration strategy with the customer. Another one that you can put on this slide just to show what is happening is a photo of the website, of the product catalog, of the Facebook page for this particular product. After product is price, and in again with digital, price is now also referred as the currency strategy, meaning price need not be constant. It can move like currency, which changes every day, even every hour. And you have to be able to adopt the price depending on the situation. So overall, the pricing of WWW, it's still a premium but affordable price to all the Pedros in Baguio. And what you can put as a visual is a comparison of the prices and the products of your topic here, the WWW versus its competitors. So the next one is place strategy, and in again in the modern marketing, we also call it the conversation strategy. It's not just where you are; it's where people talk about you. And WWW delivers everywhere because there's no need to go to the physical store. You can learn and talk about it from the website and from all the other social media channels. You can scan the QR code through leave behind WW cards when you deliver. You can also find them in Lazada or Shopee. And of course, just to protect the margins in this place strategy, it's still the customer shouldering the delivery fee. So again, place or conversation. And then the fourth P, promo, or again, in today's world, it's a communication strategy. The way WW communicates is via its Facebook page, its messenger chat, its presence in Lazada and Shopee through a Viber community, which is one way. It can use ref magnets or stickers, just leave behind calling cards. And that's how it communicates. At 4 million a year of revenue, there's not really enough money to heavily advertise in other expensive platform. So TV or radio, even billboards are out of the question. So the 11th mandatory element for this is to decide what is the Panalo winning strategy. And there's just three clearly for WWW. It's a niche player. It's only for 877 households who can spend 1,000 pesos a month on firewood. So you target this niche based on their preferences. You don't want to compete on price. And of course, this is just for Baguio. That's why it's a niche. So again, this is a wrong summary because the word outline is still there. And it's wrong even if there's build because the words are hard to read with the red font. So you still see the X at the bottom. And the right way to summarize this presentation is through this word summary. When you flash the summary, you don't need to read the words. You can read, this is Pedro, our target market, a wealthy family man who lives in cool Baguio and he wants warmth. And we understood his present choices. What we offer is delivery in 60 minutes for a market that is 10 million a year. Now, if you observe, I did not repeat everything. I did not just read the words. I tried to connect each thought as part of a bigger story. So the sixth step is the products, and these are the products delivered in 60 minutes. That's the price, which is a 20% premium versus competitors. The place is deliver anywhere. That's where the happening occurs, not in the physical store. And the promotion is through digital and social media. Through this, WWW is able to execute a winning niche strategy focusing on a very targeted market or niche, which is Pedro. So what we've seen is a compelling content using the mandatory elements and the mandatory slides plus good story selling achieves the action from the communication. And both are important. It cannot be one or the other. Both content and the story selling or the structure is important for effective communication. So far, our elements of the template and the story selling demo in one. And this is, again, something that hopefully will guide you to make excellent presentations on your first try or your second. Some will be seeing this as part of their COSLA presentation. Some will be seeing this as preparation for an excellent final marketing plan presentation.